First of all, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a correspondent. So my name is Vivek Sethi, and what you see on the left is a wonderful panel of experienced people. So I will start with Gautam ji, which will give his introduction, and then we can go further.
Hi. My name is Chef Dr. Gautam Chaudhry. I'm a chef by profession, as the name suggests, and have been a part and parcel of Hyatt Hotels, Radisson. A few brands that I have been associated with as an employee had been Great Kebab Factory or the Pink Popperum. Pink Popperum was rated as one of the finest Indian restaurants in Asia. This is 2009. Right now, I operate a company called Demiurgic Hospitality, which operates multiple brands. The prime bread and butter being the catering company, the Catering Inc., and we do catering events all across the globe.
I'm Mahesh Reddy, CEO Gopizza. Gopizza, it's a South Korean company. Now presently at South Korea and Singapore and Thailand, Indonesia, Hong Kong. And we started India just 1.5 years back. South Korean company started in South India, started from Bangalore, and we're at Hyderabad, Chennai. So we reached 50 outlets now. And I will explain about how different as a pizza company we are. Yes, it's a food tech company. And we should be coming to West and North in the coming quarters.
Hi, my name is Samayesh, Khanna. I run a coffee company, and I think I'm on this panel of premiumization and value growth because we're at this cusp in India where suddenly the Indian consumer is going through this large premiumization curve where we see a large number of millennials and Gen Zs upgrading their everyday beverage from tea to coffee, and I think we've been the largest disruptors of that category today, and I'm hoping all of you have had bean tea before.
Hello everyone, I'm Nipun Kochar. I'm the founder of Jewelbox. By profession, I'm a chartered accountant. I am a two-time founder. With my current venture, Jewelbox, we are basically selling a premium product, diamonds, right? Lab-grown diamonds at a value-seeking price. So the whole idea is to democratize the diamond industry and revolutionize it and make it accessible for everyone.
Thank you, guys. Good evening, everyone. I think it's the last session of the evening, so we should keep it quick. I am Abhay Batra. I represent Clovia. It's a lingerie brand. Now we do other stuff also. When we get to it, we'll get to it. But and we are now a Reliance brand since the past 2 years and one of the biggest exits in Indian retail. So we'll share more when over to you, Vivek.
What we'll do is we'll start off with this topic. It'll be slightly more different because what we've done is we've done some homework before we all came on this floor. So I believe in some homework to be done before we come. So the topic for today is value versus premiumization and how retailers navigate it. And what I'll require Abhay to talk about is segmentation, because that's primarily, that's the key in terms of when you have to look and analyze your TG market and look into how you want to cater to the value customer and a premium customer. So Abhay, to you.
For this, I have to share a little bit of context of how Clovia started. We started out as first a bra and brief brand, and even in bras and brief, we started out as an online first brand. So the intent of the brand was to, when we started. We went to the Shai Exports and Orients and all the big manufacturers thinking that's where you will get the quality. But what essentially happened is they told us the minimum that you can buy from us is 20,000 pieces for one SKU, right? So, and a bra is, if you only look at one color, so you have a range. In a range you have multiple designs. In one design you have multiple colors. If you're talking about core, there'll be multiple colors. If you're not talking about core, you go to fashion, you'll talk about prints. But So in a bra and the kind of sizes that you have, you start from 28, you go till 44, and you have A, B, C, D, E in all of those. You go to Punjab, you'll take a double E as well. But um, what happened is that nobody would manufacture for us. So why we started online first was that we wanted to manufacture small quantities, put it out in the market and see what's the feedback. And if the dip was good, then we went back to our manufacturer and we said, you manufacture more for us. And this, the barrier to entry in this industry is the supply chain, essentially inward supply chain. So what we did, we got 5-10 manufacturer, 5-10 employees from these bigger companies, gave them the seed capital, they put up their factories, that's how, and some of them are still with us. The journey's been more than 10 years, and they're doing revenues of 10 crores excess annually. So uh, for us, the segmentation, market segmentation was more. And when we started online, we wanted to reach the tier 2 and tier 3 markets, because tier 1 is already saturated. You already have the Marks and Spencers and the La Senzas and the jockeys of the world. Of course, jockeys everywhere, but essentially, you in tier 1, the woman is not looking for more. She is looking for the same thing and at the right price and the same quality. So we went to the tier 2, tier 3. Even today, 70% of our sales come from tier 2, tier 3. And when we finally, today we have 75 exclusive brand stores. We are at 1,000 large format stores, and we are also in distribution. So what we found when we went offline is the same product that's selling online at a certain gross margin won't make sense for me if I go with the same gross margin to the offline market, because the offline market, the share of the retailer is such that you will not be able to get your EBITDA in place. So for us, it was more not out of necessity, not out of choice, but more out of necessity, that we had to have different ranges. And of course, when you go offline, the person can do a touch and feel. She wants a better quality. Online, for example, you can still push economy product, but offline you have to make sure that you give her the right, the absolute best, because she will compare you to a Marks and Spencers, because it's the store by the side. So for us, the market has been the differentiator. And then when we went to distribution, we saw that distribution has even more margins to be shared. And that called for another range, a simpler range. Today, Clovia works with 90,000 SKUs. And for those 90,000 SKUs, if I want to go to distribution, it's impossible, right? Even in jockey, you go to a distributor, you go to a generic shop and you ask, I need a bra. They will show you what, a white color, maybe a blue color if you're very lucky, and a beige. But when you go online to a Clovia store, you will see an assortment that won't run out, you will run out of time. So those are the differentiators, and basis that we have decided what to push where. And the price segmentation comes more like it's more a backward study than a frontal thought.
One of those discussions we had, Abhay, was, is this occasion based also in terms of segmentation?
So, see, lingerie is not, one brand will not give you everything. Of course, brands are trying to do everything, but you have to realize that you will be, or I will be somebody's lunch, and maybe La Senza will be her dinner, and the mornings are maybe a jockey. So, the early mornings are Nike for a sports bra. So you have to, and that's where you define your customer, and and then you do segmentation. So even today, after more than 10 years in business, we don't cater to all subcategories of a bra. There are so many of them that it's impossible to get the supply chain in place to manufacture a sports bra as well as a Nike, and do a core as well as a jockey, and do fashion as well as La Senza. So you have to pick your battles, and you have to find the right fit for you.
I'd like to get the catering man on board, Mr. Gautam. What is your understanding on, especially on the hospitality side, on the product assortment? because the product assortment, especially on the events, would be very different. How do you manage that in terms of creating that premiumization?
See, I think it's a very vast subject. I think Vivek, when we talk about product categorization, we do the same thing what a dhaba does or a restaurant does or a five-star hotel restaurant does. The catering companies does the same thing. It is when you go to a dhaba, the selection is limited. When you go to a restaurant of a hotel or a standalone, the selection is limited. In a catering setup, we get multiple restaurants, the concept of multiple restaurants on one board, on one platform. We create one restaurant, rather multiple restaurants in one evening. It operates like a geared cycle probably or just as a geared setup. So every segment has a different gear. Every segment has a different ideology and a setup in which the decor comes in, plays a role, the flavors comes in, plays a role, the manpower comes in, plays a role. So every segment is very different. We can go on and on, but understanding from when we talk about a product, as I was saying, that all these setups, they do the same production. Their cost will necessarily be the same. If, for example, hypothetically, a portion of dal makhani costs 50 rupees in a dhaba, probably in a five-star hotel, it will cost 60 rupees, 65 rupees. The cost difference doesn't come from the product. The cost difference comes in from the value-added services that we get into. In a hotel, the air condition cost gets added on. The manpower is more premium, more specialized. That is what gets
Rentals,
added on.
sir, rentals.
Rentals get added on. There's so many things. Absolutely, there's so many things. The water which is being served is not a regular brand, not naming any brand, but not a regular brand, but the water quality gets improvised. All those things absolutely makes a difference. That is where the product cost, there's a famous saying, तेल तिलों से ही निकलता है. So bottom line, आप अगर दाल मखनी के 500 रुपए दे रहे हैं तो भी 400 रुपए की कॉस्ट आ रही है. Considering the setup cost and the overheads, अगर आप कहीं पे 125 रुपए दे रहे हैं तो भी 100 रुपए की कॉस्ट आ रही है. मार्जिन वही 20-25-30% का है. रफ अप्रॉक्सीमेशन, not pointing out on the percentage factor, but yeah.
Gautam ji, one more thing. Don't you think it's more personalization also? The cost in terms of value customer to a customer who wants a premium product, right? The requirements are very different. Somebody could come with a requirement which is more basic. Somebody comes with a requirement which is more elaborate.
So as I explain it to a lot of my guests, coming back to the same factor, तेल तिलों से निकलता है. अगर आप मुझे, for example, hypothetically, you're giving me a price of 4,000 rupees per head in a catering setup. My setup would be very different. You give me a price bracket of 2,000 rupees, my setup will be very different. For the same menu that I'm catering at 2,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees, my cost factor will still be the same. My setup cost will change. My service manpower will change. My counters will change. The quality of water that I'm using will change. All those things.
Thank you, Gautam ji, for your insight. I would like a man who is going to be surely calling us to Bangalore to eat his pizzas. Okay, and these are Korean pizzas. So, so over to you, sir, Mr. Reddy.
I wish we had this panel discussion before I launched this brand.
Yeah.
So all the answers would have come and solution would have been there. Yes, there was Domino's, Pizza Hut, and huge competition, and a South Korean brand to launch and a pizza. There's so many players. I was thinking, how do we launch this brand and how do we make a difference? And what should we do different? We started with 4S, that is shape, size, speed, service. The shape of the pizza, we launched oval shape. It's not the round shape. Pizza normally takes 15-20 minutes. With our technology at back end, we ensure we give the pizza in 5 minutes. And the service, it becomes faster. The space, the format, the format can be made within 50 square feet to 2,000 square feet. So that's the model USP. So when we thought all these four USPs are ready post-COVID, what should we do? So we set the backend with technology-driven, all imported Koreans. So we at the factory we have only 10 staff who takes care of the backend. Rest all technology takes care over there. Then we thought now, okay, technology is the back end, but the customers have to come, customers have to understand, customers have to accept the pizza. Even for me, an oval shaped pizza, because I have never seen that, how do I accept it? So yes, we thought it has to be a value for money, and that's how the pricing has to be defined. Normally at Singapore and at Korea, it's $10, $15. Here we ensured less than $1 to start a pizza because the competition sells at 49 rupees. So you can imagine how a competition tough it is, but we have to ensure everybody tries it. So that's why we ensured we name it Go Pizza, Pizza Everywhere Company. The pizza where anybody and everybody can afford it. And what better place than India if you can make entire population to try this. And that's the biggest market which I ensure that I told Koreans, that's the beauty of India if you enter the India. So they said, we will not invest, we will not come to India because we don't know what you're talking about. Even 99 rupees a pizza can be sold and you can make money. So we did open the formats in different verticals in malls, airports, high street, colleges, highways, everywhere. So I made one format in all the verticals. Luckily, all the rentals which you said were at revenue share model because I did tell them that the amount of top line you will get more than the rental what you're getting. So all the formats were profitable, scalable, and that's how I ensured the format when in a high street, if you say, एक हाई स्ट्रीट में एक रेजिडेंशियल एरिया में खोल दिया आप देखिए अगर चंडीगढ़ में जाएंगे एक एक मोहल्ले में एक एक स्ट्रीट में कितने आउटलेट खोल सकते हैं आप अगर एक मॉल में आप सक्सेसफुल हो गए चाहे फिट इज ए हाई रेंटल और ए लो रेंटल यू कैन इमेजिन द पोटेंशियल और इट एंड एक हॉस्पिटल में बिकॉज कोरियन सेट हॉस्पिटल में पिज्ज़ा कौन खाएगा हॉस्पिटल में पिज्ज़ा पेशेंट नहीं खाते लेकिन पेशेंट को देखने के लिए 100 लोग आते हैं वो वेट करते हैं वो खाते हैं बाहर to become patient or impatient in whatever way. So that's the opportunity what I showed them. Then they said, how will your back end will work? I feel India, the logistic, the back end, the roads, though we say there are so many holes, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the roads are well connected. Agar aaj raat ko, if I put it at Delhi, it will go to Bangalore. That's the beauty of logistic. Whereas in Singapore, अगर आज रात को भी डालो तो पानी उसके बाद पानी होगा या उससे पहाड़ होगा क्योंकि द सिटी इज सो स्मॉल सो दैट्स द पोटेंशियल व्हिच आई हैड टू शो टू द वेंडर्स यस आफ्टर ओपनिंग 10-15 outlets I launched the brand and I showed to the global investors not to the Indian investors because I never wanted to go to Mumbai to show the brand at Juhu or Qatar कि इतना बड़ा signage से पैसा आएगा no I was very clear the model has to be profitable and scalable so when 15 outlets and when I did the road show at Singapore, US, everywhere. Then the global investors, I wanted the global investors to come and invest in India. And that's how it was easy for me to show them the model. And then I raised the fund of $25 million, which helped me. And that made me to open 50 stores. And now the pressure or the pleasure is to open 100 more outlets this year. And they want India to contribute 70% of the global Gopizza, which we are at 300 outlets presently, because by 2025 we have to hit NASDAQ. So that's the potential of India which is shown and that's the money which I can get into the country and I feel that's the potential we all have. If you show a model, scalable, profitable, investment will come.
Now, so Mahesh, very insightful and I believe you being associated with CCD and work with Siddharth, I believe it very clearly shows your thought process. And it's unfortunate that he's not there, but it's very clear in terms of his learnings are with his people who worked with him, right? So now what we are going to be talking about is brand positioning. And I would expect Nipun to share his insight. He's the Shark Tank person, huh? A celebrity here. So
Absolutely not.
welcome, Nipun.
Yeah. Hello everyone. My brand is Jewelbox. We are into lab-grown diamond jewelry. So I think 2021, when this idea hit us that a market for lab diamonds can be created in India, there was hardly any precedence. So there were no players selling lab-grown diamond jewelry. We do not come from background of jewelry, so it was a completely new line. So first thing that actually hit us was that who are our customers? Uh, there's no precedence, there's no one to follow. And without knowing who the customers are, how can we build a brand? So we did a lot of research just to identify who can be our potential customers. After doing the kind of research that we did, we realized that our potential customers can be divided into two cohorts. One would be people who aspire to buy diamonds, but they can't afford one. So basically the aspiring audience. And the second one would be people who do not think that diamonds are an investment. So the value seeking audience. After looking at, sorry? Or the men, absolutely. So we realized that much later, and we are now in the process of getting a men's collection also. But yes, not just because we are taking a share of your wallet, but also because we want to sell something back to you. So what we realized was we want to go after the value. We want to go after the masses in India who aspire, but they can't afford one. So from brand positioning perspective, it had to be premium. It had to, the want needs to be there. It is just not a need, it is a want. So, but from the perspective of who the target audience will be, we wanted to build it for the Bharat and not just for India. One thing that we have realized along the journey is brand positioning has to be premiumization, because that's where you will be able to charge a little bit extra that will help you create a brand. But at the same time, as Mr. Reddy just identified, India, the masses, the population is such a big opportunity that if we look at the 40%, 45% of India's population who has never owned a diamond but aspires to buy one, that's much more than the US population. And US is world's largest consumer for diamonds. So the opportunity over here is vast. So with Jewelbox, what we are building is a conscious luxury brand. Luxury and thus the premiumization. But at the same time, we are looking at the masses as our customers. So that's how we want to bridge the gap between value versus premiumization.
I believe you just opened 2 outlets in Kolkata.
Yeah.
So brick and mortar,
Right.
how does that create for you a value or a premiumization?
So I think brick and mortar is the way forward. I completely agree with everyone. Most of the people think that D2C is the way forward. I have certain inhibitions about it. The reason is you rarely find D2C brands who have touched or crossed that 100 crore mark, right? But rarely, as I said, rarely. So their exceptions will always be there, right? But it is very difficult to reach that mark. But with offline, you will find local 30-year-old, 40-year-old stores reaching that mark. So the potential is definitely with brick and mortar. Yes, brick and mortar, the rentals are too high, staff costs are too much. But I think that's also an opportunity, because to hit 100 rupees in online sales, we are already spending 20 rupees and giving to Facebook or Google. Why not give 20 rupees as rentals, make the country grow, let someone else also earn from it, and then build your brand. Plus, for jewelry, it's a touch and feel product. So I think 95% of population over here heard about lab diamonds in the last 6 months and not before, right? So if I tell you that the product exists which is physically, chemically, and optically same as a diamond, and a gemologist cannot differentiate, you won't believe it till you don't see one. But the day you see one and the day you buy one, 95% assurance you'll never buy a natural diamond anymore. So it has to be offline for us at least.
So thank you, Nipun, for your insight.
Thank you.
And now we have Samayesh here to talk about Bentley. And obviously, it's going to be marketing that you'll be talking about, marketing and communication. And how did you decide that you want to be part of retail world? Factors you've advertised here, and there must be some thought process behind it. So if you can put that across, that could be one of your key points.
Sure. So, like I mentioned very early on during this conversation, and when you introduced me, I think the one reason I'm part of retail world is, and this particular panel on value creation versus premiumization is what we are creating in a lot of ways. Over the last few years, we've had this large clarity that we're in the beverage market more than just the coffee market. It's a large enough market for both these beverages to coexist. India by numbers consumes 12 cups of tea in comparison to every cup of coffee that we consume. Over the last decade, that number has been changing very drastically. We've already come up to nearly 3 cups of coffee for every 12 cups of tea that we consume as a nation, and that number is rapidly going to change. We've largely been an online first brand, and over the last 2 years, retail and offline presence has grown very organically for us as a brand. That's been the largest reason for us to foray into retail and into the offline space. And I do resonate with what Nipun has said, that categories of tomorrow will not be created with a single channel in focus, though D2C remains for us a very heavy acquisition channel. We do feel our largest repeats do come in with customers going to offline stores when they run out of coffee suddenly, and that's where we feel a lot of our customers have consumed us, and that would be the only reason that would be the one reason we would attribute large offline growth despite limited marketing efforts on offline. Again, to come back to answer your question on how we chose to enter this category and why we came in here, the world has been going through a large disruption in coffee as a category. Coffee has grown in different waves. If I were to explain to you, the first wave of coffee was when coffee went from being a commodity that was brewed in someone's home to being an instant coffee beverage, which came to be known as Folgers and Nescafe. The second wave of coffee was where the CCDs of the world were set up and we brought it to a community. The third wave of coffee was where specialty coffee and a lot of effort went into creation and of coffee post procurement, which is your plantation level integration of coffee. Where what we're entering today in the world is the fourth wave of coffee, and is sort of recreating the second wave all over again, where we are suddenly saying that coffee is a speedy beverage, it's a beverage on the go, and consumers are going to consume it in multiple locations, be it online, be it offline, but it's going to be on the go. And largely what we've seen with brands like Luck and Blank Seed being created in China, in the US, and today even in Indonesia, there is a large disruption happening in the category. And I think we're happy to pioneer and lead that change in India as it comes.
Thanks, Somesh. Here we have Mahesh, who comes from a CCT background. So Mahesh, what inputs you would like to give to a friend in terms of if he wants to get into the online as well as the offline space?
Coffee is a product, but it's an experience. The product can be anything. And the coffee, what you give, if you do not give a value addition to that, that experience will become a concern. When I was the part of the team, we had already opened 1,500 outlets. I feel we are ahead of the time. And today, in the same street, I see within not even 10 meters, there's Third Wave, there's Starbucks, there's Coffee Day, there's Barista, there's Costa. But is that the consumption increased of the coffee? I feel it's the lifestyle which has changed. Uh, at that time, to afford the coffee, the GDP or the population was not ready. But today, they are ready to consume this. My suggestion to you will be in an online, whatever this cloud kitchen formats or the dark or the ghost kitchen formats, I feel you'll have to spend lot of discounts goes on that. It's a more experience which happens. It's a dining experience which happens. Teach the customers know what is coffee, but you have to tell them what different you are. So एक कहावत है, जो भी कॉपी करते हैं, कॉपी करना भी कट कॉपी पेस्ट करने में भी अगर सेम करोगे तो टीचर को पता चल जाता है. कुछ तो अलग करना पड़ेगा, and you might get better marks than even if you have copied them. And that's what is the reality in today. So my suggestion is please look into the experience so that the customers come again and again, and you can, because it's available everywhere and it's a convenience part. But if you can reach out to everywhere and make it affordable and experience, you can open more and more.
Thanks, Mahesh. And would you like to say anything to our friend, Mr. Mahesh?
No, agreed. I think with a large amount of experience, well taken. Like there have been, I feel there have been multiple pizza brands that have existed. There will be multiple coffee brands that will exist, and coffee as a category, I think for us looks very different from where it did at CCD. When Mahesh was at CCD, they were already running 1100 plus stores with a top line of 2,200 crores plus. Today, CCD sits at a market share of 800 to 849 crores with 600 stores live and operational. So the change is right in front of you for everyone to witness. And I think this is cyclical. Brands that evolve with times 100% go through change and accept it a lot better. But the consumer knows better always.
True. So do you think the millennials have moved on and their preferences have changed?
Absolutely, because if you look at the last 10 years, if we look at market capitalization for coffee as a category and as a beverage, it's changed tremendously. One thing where I 100% do agree with him, we have gone from a country that could not consumer did not consume coffee on a daily basis to a generation that today is today our median age as a country is 28, and every one of them wants to aspire to be more West. Like we are today going out and consuming every Western beverage out there, and coffee has been the largest part of change. A younger kid, 25, 28 years old, is not going out and saying ki, can I take a girl out on a date and take her out chai peene ke liye le jao. We're aspiring to go out and go out over a cup of coffee, and it's becoming your beverage of choice on a daily basis. So that's been a large reason for this growth, and it's only going to become larger. If trends are anything to go by, China, which was known for as a country of tea, was known as China tea. The country was known by tea, is today largely dominated by Luckin, and with by 12,000 plus stores that they run there. We've seen this huge wave that has taken Japan by storm, and we've had the likes of blue bottles being set up there. You've had the likes of Percentage Arabicas coming out of Japan. Indonesia, which is a country I would assume is growing far slower than what we are, has created $2 billion coffee brands over the last 15 years. So Southeast Asia as a market has been very exciting for coffee as a category and as a beverage. And I only reiterate that this new wave of coffee is very different from what it was back then, and it's only going to be something that we'll all have to witness to believe.
So obviously the last part of this was most important, that is customer experience. And what we rightly say is customer, customer, customer. And Abhay, would you like to give insight on the customer experience that you provide on your platform? And how do you take care of customers who come in for the first time and somebody who's a old customer, and how do you reward him and so and so?
So thanks for the question, Vivek. For us, what time of the day do you wear a bra? You know, you wear it when you wake up. And what time do you take it off? You take it off when you're about to sleep, when you're almost half asleep. So for us, customer experience is through the time that she's awake. So first thing that goes on and the last thing that comes off is a bra. So for us, customer experience is not just how many clicks she has to go to the website to buy. Of course, that's all now hygiene. But for us, the more important bit is does the hook trouble her by the time she's back from office? Is the elastic fine? Is she feeling the pinch? Is she able to open the hook fine? You know, those kind of nuances is what for us, and we are realizing more and more and more as we look inside, is that if you have the right product, everything else just falls into place, and the customer will tell you what she needs. You know, when you have the right product, she will call the customer care and spend those 5 minutes and tell them that, guys, this is the problem that I'm facing on the website, fix it and get this done for me. And that's on the online bit. For the offline bit, we are, of course, we are now part of Reliance, and Reliance runs the kind of foray in offline that Reliance has is unimaginable. And still, even today, although small, the lingerie vertical is very separate from all other verticals, because the kind of service that you give to a lingerie customer cannot be matched by any other retail section of, even whether it be employees or whether it be the in-store experience or whether it be the VM experience. Anything and everything is so different. So lingerie is a very typical category to sell. Anybody you hire at an offline store will take about 3-4 months at least to learn the product before she can start pitching it. I'm talking about a new person. And so for us, a product journey, even with the person starting, is very, very critical and crucial, you know. And like I mentioned, that the kind of subcategories that a bra has, even us as bra smiths are not able to capture all of them even till now. So imagine a person selling it. How difficult is it for her to gauge a customer as to what she really wants and whether she can push it, and whether you push the right thing, or whether you just you agree that you don't have that proposition as a brand. So experience is a typical thing in lingerie. And
Thanks.
and for the longest, and I'm sorry, why did we come up? For the longest, uh, just try and remember when for me, I would consider myself young. How would my mother buy a bra? You know, she'll go to a store and uncle would tell her, "Ki madam, this, if she's going for first time, he'll tell him, madam, this is your size." She will not even have a say on what size is her size. And that's the experiential change that we are seeing in lingerie, and we are still on the way. We've not reached a place where, you know, even today when you walk into a Victoria's Secret, the person selling at Victoria's Secret will not know exactly what you want. So it's extremely typical in lingerie.
I get your point. Okay. Thanks, Abhay. And I'll give the similar question to Gautam ji. Would you like to put insight on the hospitality side in terms of customer experience? What would you ideally like to do in terms of creating that wow experience so that the customer keeps on coming on a regular basis, and whatever events he has, he calls up Mr. Gautam?
I think that's a very, very wonderful question. Happens to be today's customer is widely traveled. He has traveled across the globe. He knows what is being served in UK, what is being served in Paris, what is being served in towards the southern eastern countries. He knows what's happening around the world. So it is very, very important, and he is very, very experimental in terms of food. today people do not want dal makhni and vegetable biryani and butter chickens anymore. They want butter chicken pizza. They want butter chicken burger. They want sushis to be served in different format. Experimentation is on a rise. People want to understand that what other creativity aspect or creative aspect that you can offer to them in their caterings, because Sharma ji की बेटी की शादी में तो वो हो चुका है. अब वर्मा जी की बेटी की शादी में उनको डिफरेंट चाहिए. सो आई थिंक दैट एक्सपीरियंस और दैट एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैटेगरीज वी प्रोवाइड. Mashed potatoes have been served for ages, for generations. We serve mashtini. You talk about conchaos. You talk about churrasco barbecues. Barbecues is very, very common. But we do segments which are experimental in terms of churrasco barbecues. Bani chows is becoming very common these days. Though it is started by an Indian, it's a different category. It's a concept which has been launched by us in India. Bani chows is started by an Indian, but in South Africa. That is on a rise. So this is probably experimentation is on a rise. People wants to try something new. They want एक घर में एक शादी हो चुकी है, second शादी में they want something very, very different.
Don't you think the present millenniums or the younger lot, especially when it comes to hospitality, they would just want to create that experience? Maybe they don't live for later. They want to just have it at that moment and experience it. So how do you create that in hospitality?
So coming back, I'll give you as an example. Probably the one thing that I was speaking about was mashtini. A mashtini is nothing else but parmesan mash, mashed potatoes, which is served along with a textured vegetable or a meat product along with the sauce. Now, how experimental or how experiential that you make it is you utilize multiple ingredients. You make it as fresh as possible. So from frying to tossing to assembly, everything happens at that particular stage, at that particular life station. That is where that segment comes in. Just probably recollect 15 years back, एक vegetable counter होता था on a catering setup, जैसे live तवा सब्जी बोला करते थे. Today, it is the same concept which we are bringing with an innovative concept. So that is where.
Thanks, Gautam. Mahesh, would you like to elaborate on that?
I remember the first time when I wanted to have a pizza. I asked my mother. She told, "What is pizza? वो क्या रोटी के ऊपर कोई सॉस है और क्या 300-400 रुपए?" 25 years back. But I feel the trend has changed. The time has changed. Today we do not have to teach the born kid what is pizza. For the birthday parties, instead of milk, they will order pizza. That's what how the trends are helping us. To add to it, for me, especially the Korean trend, we are from Bryan Adams era. My son, the BTS or the Netflix Squid Game, we launched the Dalgona dessert, for example. I saw the kids or saw the families coming and licking the Dalgona dessert to win that game. That's how the crazy it was when we launched this. And now we have BTS using it at all the outlets where the kids are not going to the school, they're sitting at the outlet. The birthday parties are happening because of the K dramas. There's a K drinks, K starters. There's a queue. So I do not have to actually teach them the media, the TV, the Netflix. They're helping them. So earlier there was a time we had to do a door hanging to sell a pizza. But now the customers come to you, but that's how the marketing has changed, the Insta has changed.
More than customer experience is Korean experience.
The Korean experience has changed. Earlier, like it was Japanese, now it's Korean experience. So it's helping me to launch the brand at the right time, at the right place where I only had to say I'm a Korean brand. And with the Korean products, along with the pizza, it's easy to sell. And it's an experience which kids are coming, which I don't have to pay for anything.
So we done for this panel. First of all, big thank you and applause to the panelists. Yeah, they've done a wonderful job. And before we leave, I just would like to say here is when we talk about value and premiumization, it's very important that we create a balance And if you create a balance, I believe the profitability automatically increases, right? Every customer has a different need, a different market. So therefore, please look into this part of your business. Don't expect that your value customers are there, but you have enough premium customers to also cater to. Thank you. That's it. Thank you from us.